Good day, students. It is the 10th video, diffraction 10. Today we discuss diffraction grating, which provides n number of slits for the light waves to undergo diffraction. In the last two classes, we have seen diffraction at single slit and diffraction at double slit. And diffraction grating provides n number of slits. Okay, there are two types. We go with the illustration. Okay, this is about diffraction grating. Okay. It provides n number of slits. See this. This is the opening of width A. Then we got opaque material of width B. Like that, it continues again. Open space of width A, opaque space of B. Like this, we have n number of slits. N number means in 1 centimeter there will be, in 1 inch there will be 15,000 lines. And they provide the diffraction. Main use of diffraction grating is to find the wavelength of unknown source. Okay, you can find wavelength of the light source using diffraction grating. In this you have seen in the last class in double slit experiment. If the light wave going from A, right, and C, A and C, if you draw a perpendicular here and theta is the angle of diffraction, and then this is also theta, and in this right angle triangle ANC, sin theta is equal to Cn by AB, Cn is equal to A plus B, then Cn is equal to the path difference between light waves going from A and B is Cn, and that is equal to A plus B sin theta. Here A plus B is called grating element. A is the width of open space and B is the width of the closed space. And from A to C, the width is A plus B, and this is called a grating element. Okay, this is important in finding the wavelength of the light. There are two types of grating elements. One is a transmission grating, where the light is allowed to pass through the grating, and that we are discussing the theory in detail of transmission grating. And we have another grating called reflection grating, where the light reflecting from the grating is undergoing diffraction. Okay, whether it is a reflected light from the grating or the light passing through the grating will make grating are of two types. Let us come to the preparation. For a transmission grating, what they will do is they take a glass plate. On that, this is a transparent glass plate, and on that, with the help of diamond edge, they draw lines, parallel lines of equal width. Okay, and this opening is A, and width of this line, whenever you scratch the glass surface, that is opaque. In between these opaque lines, you will get the opening A, and width of this line will be B, and number of parallel lines on this grating will create a diffraction grating. And if you want to make a reflection grating, what you have to do is you take a polished metal surface reflects the light. On that you draw the lines, parallel lines, and now parallel lines are making opaque surface for reflection also. They will not reflect the light. Then the light falling on this gets reflected, and they are undergoing diffraction. They are passing through this, then that is a transmission grating. Transmission grating, light is passing through this, whereas in reflection grating, light is reflecting from this. This is done with the help of metal surface. This is with the help of glass. Always they don't go with this preparation. Plain transmission grating, what they do is, first they prepare the original. Usually in 1 inch there will be 10,000 parallel lines. Okay. For practical purpose, what they will do is, the replica of the original grating are prepared. On the original grating surface, a thin layer of collodium solution is poured and the solution is allowed to harden. And they take out the film of this colloidal, and that is, they paste it on a glass plate and they place it in between two glass plates, and that will produce a grating. And such gratings are given to the colleges where student will perform the grating experiment. So we work out with the transmission grating. So we discuss the theory of transmission grating. So this is the transmission grating, which XY is the transmission grating, on which we are making a parallel beam of light to fall on this. Instead of using in a spectrometer, instead of using prism, we are using diffraction grating. On a prism table, we mount this grating plate, and parallel beam you are getting from the collimator, and the diffracted light transmitted light through the grating is again brought focus onto the eyepiece with the help of telescope. Okay, that this way we are doing the experiment. At the center of the screen, all will come into focus and they produce the central maximum at point P, the center of the light. If you are using a monochromatic light, you will get a central maxima of higher intensity. If you are using polychromatic light, then central maxima of all colors will be focused at P, and P will be a white spot. Okay. P will all central maxima of different colors of polychromatic light will merge here and they produce white maximum, central maximum. And at secondary maxima, instead because there is a change in the wavelength, and for that reason there is a change in the position of the central secondary maxima, and you will get spectrum on either side, first order on either side, and then you will get second order on either side. So first order spectrum, second order spectrum on this side, first order spectrum and second order spectrum on this side. Okay, central white, first order spectra require of higher intensity compared to secondary dim. Secondary spectrum is of lesser intensity. It is same on the either side. Okay, this is the P1 is at a distance x from the center of this screen, and where the light is going to reflect, and when you turn the telescope on this side, you are focusing on to point P. Let us calculate what is the path difference. As I said, AC is A plus B, and that is called a grating element, and AC sin theta is A plus B sin theta. That is the path difference. When you draw a perpendicular, then Cn is the path difference, and that is equal to A B sin theta. And if this path difference is an integral multiple of lambda, as you've seen in the case of double slit, then that will be the position of the maxima. P1 will be maxima when the path difference is n lambda. If I put n is equal to 1, I will get P1 is the position. You will get the angle theta 1, and this is the position of first secondary maxima, right? Then when you put n is equal to 2, you will get the position of the secondary maxima. N is equal to 3 third. But when you are using sodium light, only you are able to see central maxima, first order, second order on that side, first order, second order on this side. And if you have polychromatic light, if you have got wavelength lambda and wavelength slightly more different from this, say higher, lambda plus dl, then if sin theta is the angle which produce first maxima, first secondary maxima for wavelength lambda, then this angle will produce the first secondary position of the first secondary maxima of the wavelength lambda plus d lambda. So there is an angular separation between them. For that reason, what happens when you use a polychromatic light, it consists of different lambdas. Here you will get central white, but here red, blue, green, maxima. In the maxima position, different wavelength, because of their change in the wavelength, they will have different positions of these first secondary maxima. For that reason, you will get a spectrum at position P1 on this side and also on this side. And when you put n is equal to 2, we will get n a plus b sin theta 2 is equal to 2 lambda, and this is equal to theta 2 plus d theta. You will get 2 into lambda plus d lambda. You will get again in second order also, you will get different peaks of red and blue or green and all that. For that reason, you will get spectrum here also. Okay, that explains why you are getting spectrum in first order, spectrum in second order when you use polychromatic light. And central levels all are coming in phase and focusing at the same point, and the central is white. Let us calculate the secondary maxima and minima. This is about maxima. Now we will go to the secondary maxima and minima. You know that a plus b sin theta n is equal to n lambda, that corresponds to nth principal maximum. Nth principal maximum. First principal maximum, second principal maximum. Alright. And a plus b is called grating constant, and usually there will be 15,000 lines per inch. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. If you write 15,000 lines in 2.4 centimeter, then a plus b is equal to 2.54 divided by 15,000 centimeter, and that is called grating constant for that grating. Okay, now we got a small angle theta. Now I am increasing this telescope, I am moving to an angle theta such that the path difference between the light waves going from this end, right, and this end and this end is lambda. See this, not I am taking AC, this end and the last end. If it is lambda, then each in between A and C increases by lambda by n, because there are n number of slits. So the path difference is lambda by n, and total path difference between A, this extreme end, with this extreme end is lambda by n for this, into there are n number of slits, then lambda by n into n is lambda. So what is path difference between this end and this end is lambda. When it is lambda, what happens? The whole wavefront is divided into two parts. For every upper part of the light beam, you will get an enemy or corresponding point in the lower half. The path difference between these two light waves is Here and here is lambda. Here and here is lambda by 2. So for any point here, you will find a corresponding point here where the path difference is lambda by 2. And that means they are destructively interfere. Finally, they will give minima there. So the minimas are produced when the path difference between A and C is lambda by n, 2 lambda by n, 3 lambda by n. Okay, when path difference is an integral multiple between A and C. If it is lambda, then what is path difference between A and C is lambda by n. If the path difference is 2 lambda, then path difference between A and C is 2 lambda by n. And that gives the minima. The second and third secondary minimas are produced after nth principal maximum. So if you plot a graph, this will be like this. This is central maximum, and this is first order maximum, and in between this you will get a secondary maxima and secondary minima, and this is second order maxima. In between this, these are secondary maxima and minima, but they are very difficult to observe in practice. We don't observe. There will not be much change in this. The intensities are very less compared to this. For that reason, you won't observe this. That if you are using polychromatic light, this will be white, and this is a first order maxima for one wavelength. If you have another spectrum, you will get spectrum here, and we get spectrum here on this side. This is left side, or this is on right side. On either side of central maxima, we will get here first order spectrum for polychromatic light, second order spectrum for polychromatic light on this side. Similarly on that side. If you have monochromatic light, then you will get central, for example, yellow sodium light, you will get central maxima of higher intensity, slightly lower intensity, and still lower intensity. So for ordinary light, you will get 2 spectrum on this side, 2 spectrum on this side. But you are using laser, you can able to see 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th on this side, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th on this side. Okay, this is the production of spectrum by diffraction grating. The same thing what prism does, that is obtained by grating. But in prism you are getting one spectra, in grating you are getting first order spectrum and second order spectrum. Now let us find the width of the central maxima. Okay, we are finding width of this. Okay, here we are getting minima. So if this is the condition for principal maxima is the A plus B sin theta, the path difference should be n lambda. Then you will get a maxima, the first maxima, this. Okay, and if you take this, see this is first maxima. For example, if you take n is equal to 1, I will get first maxima, and on either side of this you will get minima. Okay, this is if I put n is equal to 1 for this angle, I am getting first maxima. I am finding width of this, not central maxima, this, not central maxima, width of this. Width of this we are finding. This is principal maxima, this is central maximum, this is principal first order principal maxima. When I put n is equal to 1, I will get lambda, and this is the maxima produced. So this is the angle theta n. If I take theta t extra, see this is principal maxima. If I take A plus B slight angle d theta plus or minus on either side. I am getting a path difference n lambda plus or minus lambda by n. In between A and C is, if I got lambda by n, I am getting minima. So n is the total number of lines on the grating surface. Then this is equation 2. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. 2 by 1. And you divide this by this equation. You are getting a plus b sine theta of this divided by this. This is equal to n lambda divided by n lambda. From this a plus b get cancelled. Sine theta n plus d theta by sine theta n is n lambda, you take common. Then it is 1 plus lambda divided by n lambda. Lambda gets cancelled. It is nn. And you expand this sine a plus b formula, then it is sine theta n cos d theta plus cos theta n d theta, 1 plus 1 by n. For small values of theta, cos d theta is 1 and sine d theta is theta. This is the approximation you know for small angles. Then this becomes 1 plus cot theta n by d theta. You divide sine theta n cos d theta you are going to get. Okay, then here cos theta divided by sine theta, this will be cot theta n d theta. Therefore 1 plus 1 by n. Then we will get this cos d theta I have equated to 1. This is the cot theta n dn is equal to 1 divided by nn, because 1 get subtracted by taking the other side. You will get d theta is 1 by theta n. This is d theta from this to this. And 2 d theta if you take, that will be the width. This will be the width of the central maxima. Okay, d theta on this side, d theta on this side, that will give in between the width of this principal maxima, that is CV. Okay, this is about the width of the principal maxima. Now the one question will be asked, how experimentally you determine the wavelength of the line. That is the use of this grating. Grating is used to find the wavelength of the light. How do you determine the grating using finding wavelength of lambda using grating? This is the experimental setup. We keep this source here, and for writing you write down for a monochromatic source in theory. In practical class you are using polychromatic light and you are finding wavelength of blue and green simultaneously. But while writing in exam, you write using monochromatic source, we are finding wavelength of a monochromatic source. That source is made to illuminate the collimator, and that plane wavefront of that light is made to fall on the grating and get the central image, first order, second order, third order on left side, and first order, second order, third order on the right side. And we are finding the position of the first order from this here direct telescope, and we move the telescope to get first order, and we will measure this angle. And you know that for first order condition is a plus b sine theta 1 is equal to 1 lambda. And again we change the position for the second order, and again we measure this with the central. Reading at second position minus reading at the central position will give you the angle, and that is sine theta 2 you are getting, and sine theta 2 if you substitute you are going to get 2 lambda. From you measure theta 1 using spectrometer. First keep it at second order maxima, note down x1 x2, and bring it back to central maxima. You will get x1 dash x2 dash. x1 minus difference of x1 dash or x2 difference of x2 dash will give you theta 2, and substitute in this, and you on the grating they mentioned how many lines are there. For example 50,000 lines per inch, then grating element a plus b is 2.54 divided by 15,000, and you know a plus b 2.54 divided by 15,000, and you measure theta 2 and take sine of theta 2, you will get 2 lambda. Okay, or you divide this by 2, you will get lambda. Similarly, you do it for first order. Keep first order x1 x2 write down, and central is x1 dash x2 dash. Take the difference, take the mean, and take the sine and substitute in this, you will get lambda. You can do it first order or you can do it with second order. Do for the both, then take the mean of lambda, and you are going to get the wavelength of the monochromatic light source. This is the use of the diffraction grating. Okay, thank you students.